Welcome everybody to the Batcolyte. Make sure you're tapping the screen and sharing the live. We will be getting started very soon. So when we do, we'll be looking for guests who have the ability, the curiosity, the courage to question their beliefs. And if that sounds like you, if you think that you can question your beliefs, then go ahead and request up. I'll be taking guests very soon.
Grandma says we're chosen, teacher says we're dust, preacher shakes his finger, both of them want trust. Candles on the altar, charts up on the wall. Everybody's certain like they got God on call. I question everything, every halo, every ring, every story polished clean about where we're from, where we're going, when we're gone. Sing along, but sing it wrong. If you're sure then something's off, so I question everything. Uncle swears by karma, friend swears it's just math. One hand holds a Bible, one hand holds a grab. Mother lights the incense, father checks his phone. Each has sacred language, each afraid to stand alone. I question everything, every blessing, every sting, every promise carved in ink about where we're from, where we're going when we're gone. If your map is iron strong, show me where the doubts belong, 'cause I question everything. Is it spirits, is it sparks, is it stories in the dark, is it cycles, is it sleep, is it nothing wide and deep? If your answer never shakes, what if that's your biggest fate? If your faith can never bend, how will anything transcend? I question everything. Final word they bring about where we're from, where we're going when we're gone. Love you still, but I'm along with the crooked, curious tongue. Yeah, I question everything. Pass the wine, pass the prayer, pass the torch, I'll meet you there. Not in certain rigid stone, but in maybe flesh and bone.
And welcome everybody to the Batcolyte. Make sure you're tapping the screen, sharing the live. We are just getting started, and so we just need to get a few more people in here, I guess, before I can take a guest. Maybe if we all tapped, got us over 5,000. I bet we could probably have enough people in here, and maybe even someone who's curious enough or courageous enough to question their beliefs. Blake says the AI description is too normal right now. What's it say? Questioning beliefs. Because that's what we're doing. That's what I'd love for it to say. It never says that, though. It always says something about Mermaid Winnie the Pooh, or I don't know, something wildly off topic. I think we're about there. We're over 6,000, 6.6. Appreciate you guys for tapping the screen. I see a couple of people in queue, and I will be bringing one of you up here in just a moment. But before I do, I think we're gonna have one Michael V segue, and that'll give us enough time to tap the screen. Who knows? We might even break 10K before that's over. It's not a long one, but.
Question your belief. Do you have a belief in a God? A higher power? Or anything like that? Request
Request on up. You heard that creepy voice. If you've got a belief in a god or gods, higher power, or anything like that, and you're capable of questioning that belief, then go ahead and request on up. I am taking guests now. I just want to know if you can question it. I'm not here for some kind of fight. I'm not here to make you look like a fool. You might do that on your own, but I'm really just curious to see if you can question your beliefs. Welcome Y2K. We've spoken before, but can you remind me your age?
36.
And do you have a belief in a god or God's higher power or anything like that?
I do.
And which God is that?
I believe in the God of the Christian Bible.
The God of the Christian Bible. And have you read the Bible from beginning to end?
Yes, I have.
Do you believe the stories to be true and literal?
I believe them to be true, but not literal.
How are they true if they are not literal? For instance, the six-day creation, do you believe that to be true?
Yes. But
Is it
time
literal?
moves different for a God than it does us.
Oh, I see. So the days are the metaphorical part of that.
Yes. I believe if you take 6,000 and multiply it by 10,000, you get like some odd 600 million years or something.
Why would you do that? Why would you multiply 6,000 times 10,000? What was that?
Somewhere in the Bible it says that to God a day is 10,000 years, but 10,000 years is as but a day to God. So that's a rough standard to start
What's
with.
the 10,000 for? Why are we multiplying by 10,000?
Well, because if it took 6 days to create, but 10,000 days to humans is a day to a God,
I thought it was a day was 10,000 years.
Yes, but it's also vice versa, because...
How is it 10,000 days? I'm a little confused.
I misspoke. It is 10,000 years. Yeah, sorry about that. Yes.
Is it? Are you sure it's 10,000 and not 1,000? In the Bible.
I could be wrong. I've been wrong before.
If it were 1,000 and there were 6 of them, wouldn't I multiply 6 times 1,000 and just get 6,000?
Yes.
So then it would be a 6,000 year creation.
Which would be, as we assume it. But if it was 10,000, it would be roughly 600 million or something like that.
I don't see how that would work. That doesn't sound like the math is working.
So
6,000 times 10,000 is somehow 600 million.
60 million. Sorry about that. Hold on. I'm doing the math right now. Hold on. So yeah, 6,000. It would be easier if I used a calculator, but I'm out here drawing this in the dirt. I'm doing very poorly at it.
So you're saying that there's 6 periods of time, long periods of time, like thousands of years, and that each of these periods of time is one of the days of creation?
Yes.
Or whatever 1,000-year day where God just made light.
Yes.
And then another where he just made a firmament.
Yes. But as I understand it, there are how many stars in the universe? So he would have to create each one of them. So assuming they all didn't come into existence at the same time and he created one by one.
Why did he have to create each one of them?
Well, because matter cannot be created nor destroyed, so they had to come from somewhere. Everything has a beginning and an end.
I'm sorry, that didn't quite follow. Matter cannot be created or destroyed, so
Yes.
God created it. That
Well,
doesn't quite follow.
well-
If it can't be created, then why would you say something created it?
Well, because that's the whole thing about the divinity of God in the Christian Bible. He does not exist within our realm of existence. He is outside of time and space, because in order to set the limits of time and space, you have to be outside of the creation.
Where does it say that in the Bible?
It does not.
Oh, I see. So
That's just the basic rules of creation.
just to clarify, the question I had asked you was about if there was a 10,000-year day where he just created light and where he just created firmaments. Is there also a 10,000-year day where he just created plants?
Yes.
And then another one where he just created the sun and the moon?
Well, all of the suns and all of the moons, yes.
Where does it say that?
Well, I mean, it doesn't say that in the Bible.
I thought you said he already made the stars, and now he's made planets, and they've got plants and firmaments. So why is he creating now, like, all of the suns? How does that make sense if he's already made the stars, as you said?
Well, I mean, he made them in the order that he made them. We wrote them in the order that we guessed them. We don't actually know.
So then Genesis 1 isn't really true?
I mean, if God created the universe, then yes, it is true, but it is not literal. Well, because that's God created the universe.
So the only part that's true in Genesis 1 are the words God created.
Pretty much.
And then everything else is just kind of made up.
Assumed.
Does that mean it's wrong?
There's a very large possibility that it could be wrong. The Christian lore do you know the Christian lore of where Genesis came from?
I know what some Christians believe.
Okay, so yes, some believe different than others. As I was taught, so writing didn't exist back then when Genesis 1 with Cain and Abel and Adam and Eve. So
writing didn't exist.
No, I mean, not as we understand it today. Probably not, no. Because we assume that the earliest form of writing was cuneiform, give or take.
Exactly.
So when Moses got to see God in the valley, he said, "You cannot gaze upon my face, but I will hide you in the rock and I will cover you, and when I pass, you will be able to see my backside." If you were to gaze upon the face of God, you would see the future.
So Moses could only look at God's backside.
To see what has already happened.
See what's already happened. And this is what he saw, was the creation with 6 days that apparently... Does this mean that they're... like God's backside lied? If it's not accurate.
I think misinterpreted would be a better way to go about it, and then
God's backside was misinterpreted.
By Moses, yes. Human eyes were not
misinterpreted God's
what he saw.
Backside.
Yes. That sounds absolutely amazing. I've got to remember that.
So Moses misinterpreted God's backside.
What he saw.
And when he did that,
he wrote it down as he understood it.
Genesis 1. And so this is God's misinterpreted backside. And then the Adam and Eve story, when the order gets all changed up, and the man before the plants. We've done that dance before. Is that still God's misinterpreted backside?
That is where I believe that Moses saw something that he couldn't explain. He wrote it down the best he could and still missed it, because we just aren't always that awesome.
Because it still comes out of order and messed up.
I also believe that Genesis records two separate creations of man, one inside the garden, one outside the garden.
So you're saying that the reason there's two parts where it talks about creating man in Genesis 1 and Genesis 2 is because those are different creation events?
Yes.
So those are different men?
Different sets of people, yes. Which would be why Cain went off into the land of Nod and was able to take a wife. It would be a separate entity of people, because him bearing the mark, he wouldn't be able to marry into his family as was tradition. He would have to marry outside tradition. So yes, there had to have been a
tradition. How was there already a tradition?
Well, because that's just what people do. We set lineage, we set things, and we try to. That's just human nature, as I understand it.
A human nature.
Yes.
To be created in a day and then already have traditions.
It's something that was instilled at creation.
Sisters.
Instinct is a better term for it than tradition, but yeah.
The instinct for the first humans was to marry their sisters, and then instead of doing that, Cain had to go out and see other humans that were created before Adam. Were they created before Adam?
Well, okay, so in Genesis it says that Adam was created after the trees, but at Genesis 2 verse 1, when it speaks of making them, it says before the trees. So it has to be two different creations, give or take, human assumption.
Couldn't they both be wrong?
Of course.
Really quickly,
Would...
I'm going to thank Delilah, Scissors, Birdies, and Shell for helping with the first goal. Thank you guys so much. Really appreciate you. So you're saying that Genesis 1 and 2 could both be wrong?
Well, yes.
If Genesis 2 is wrong, then is there really such a thing as original sin? Is that something that factors into your beliefs?
Yes. So there are three original sins.
3?
Hold on, let me go grab my Bible because I want to read them. Hold on. I can remember 2. It's the third one I don't get. But it's when he blames God. He said, it was not me. He said, it was this woman that you gave me. That was the final strike that got him kicked out of the garden. God said, how dare you blame me? Be gone.
You're saying that by saying that it was the woman you gave me, he's blaming God, not the woman.
Yes.
Thank you, Shell.
All right, hold on, I'm cracking my Bible open right quick. And forgive me, it is a New Living Translation. It is not my new King James that I'm used to. So we'll go to 5. I believe it is. It said placed him in the garden. There it is. 3:12. The man replied, it was the woman that you gave me who gave me the fruit and I ate it. Aha. All right, so there's the blame. So that's one sin. So the second sin was when they hid. He's hiding. So now he's lying. So not only did he blame somebody, he lied. There's 2 sins gone.
Wait. Hiding is lying. When did he lie?
Most folks in this world say that a lie of omission of truth is still a lie.
What was the omission?
By not saying, hey, I ate this. He's like, I got in the cookie jar. You know, he went and hid. He's like,
not saying. He did say. When did he lie about it?
Okay, so it goes back to 10. He says, I heard you walking in the garden, so I hid. I was afraid because I was naked. So he got caught with his hand in the cookie jar.
That's not lying. He was afraid because he was naked.
Yes.
He didn't want God to look at him naked.
Okay, so instead of saying, hey, I messed up, I got in a cookie jar, he went and hid. He still hasn't told the truth.
That's not him. Wait, that's not a lie yet. He just hasn't confessed yet. He hasn't been confronted even with it yet. He just hid because he heard God coming and didn't want his self exposed.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So is that the sin, is covering his privates or hiding? What's the sin?
It reads different in the New Living Translation than in the Old King James.
I wonder if there's a reason for that.
Yes. Some say it's to change what it says. They say it's so that other people can read it better because they don't have a greater understanding, so forth and so on. But no, slowly but surely they are changing it.
Do you think you think the King James is more accurate?
No, it has better wording that uses it's not dumbed down to a generalization. It's more exact verbiage. Language back then was more spot on than it is now. We have more words.
The language back then was more spot on. The language when the King James was written, or
yes, the year 1600. Shakespeare was around. He had 8,000 words,
why would the language be more specific when it is in its infancy?
I would use
it
Shakespeare.
develops.
I would use Shakespeare as my example for this. Shakespeare's vocabulary at the time only was limited to 8,000
I
words.
don't see how Shakespeare is actually related to this at all.
I'm
What does
using him as
Shakespeare's
an
vocabulary have to do
I'm
with
using him
why
as
you
an
think
analogy.
that King James would be more accurate?
Okay, so back
What
then
was the King James translated from?
I was translated from Latin and Greek. I
And
believe.
what was the Old Testament written in?
Hebrew and Aramaic, I believe.
Why would it be translated from Latin and Greek then?
Because age. So Latin was the main language then. Some X amount of time. It's time and linear conquer things. First thing you take from a nation after you conquer it is its language so that they can't go back to history. So that's how that goes.
What?
Well, I mean, that's the first... The Art of War? Not the
Is
Art
it-
of War. Hold on. What book was it that I read that in?
A law of conquering a land is taking their language.
Well, yes. If you go back through history, that's the first thing that's done. And
Is it the first thing that's done everywhere, all the time?
yes, when a land is conquered, its books are taken. Its history is erased, and there's no going back to find
Every
out.
time that's ever happened, every time a land has been conquered, it has always been their language taken and their books erased. Are you
Yeah.
sure?
That's why we had to translate the Hebrew and Aramaic language. And then, okay, so we don't use cuneiform anymore because that language was taken. We don't use Hebrew. Very few people use actual Aramaic language nowadays. And you have to really study to be able to do that. Then you have to go back to the Latin. No one speaks Latin anymore. That language was taken. We didn't relearn Latin.
Okay, slow down. So you're saying every time a land was conquered, their language was taken and their books were erased.
Yeah.
If that were actually true, then how do we have any of these books or languages?
Well, depending on if you believe in conspiracy or not, it's either planted there or that was the hidden library that was supposedly collected, the collection of writings that was considered.
Are you just talking out of your ass at this point? Like, what history are you actually specifically talking about?
Okay, so
Is it just kind of a feeling?
well, no, it's more like poorly memorized history from 8th grade, give or take. I mean,
Could it be that your take on this is a little bit, I would say, presumptive?
Yes. No, that is definitely, yeah, that's the most accurate way to state it, yeah.
Okay. Let's back up. You were telling me about how man had originally sinned in the Bible.
Yes.
And that the sins, if not... Here's the strange thing, okay? My question was, if the Adam and Eve story and the creation stories were not true, then what would original sin be? Because we had discussed how these might not be true, right? Based on the contradictions and Moses misinterpreting God's backside.
Then,
So, yeah, he said that Moses had to hide in a rock so he couldn't see the face of God, but that he could look upon his backside. And that in his backside was the story of Adam and Eve.
In his backside?
yeah. So it would be like staring into a crystal ball. You don't see a physical thing. You see...
His bum?
No, it's not a physical thing. It would be like staring into a crystal ball. You don't see his physical form. You see everything that he has done. That's why he couldn't see his face, because then he would see the future. He would know his true name. He would know things that no human are allowed to know.
So, looking at God's backside was like looking at a crystal ball.
And seeing the past, yes. Because God is omnipresent to view upon. That's what he is. He is a collection of everything. give or take.
What does God's backside look like?
No one, I mean, the only person that ever seen it described it in linear time. He didn't describe it in physical form.
It was Moses.
Yes. He didn't describe a physical form. He described a linear time.
As we discussed, Moses apparently got some of it mixed up and might even have gotten it wrong, according to our questions earlier.
Yes.
Because God couldn't give him the correct story?
He would not give him the future. No. I mean, you don't play with the timeline. Everyone knows that. Anyone who's ever seen a movie knows you don't play with the timeline. You
I'm
can
sure
show what's
Moses
already.
had seen a lot of movies at that point.
I mean, no. I mean, considering he went up on a mountain, saw some shit, and came down and was glowing. I mean, I'm not sure if that's like radiation or something, but you gotta kind of figure, there's a line somewhere in there between divinity and extraterrestrial, and figuring that out's not always easy. Because, I mean, the
Who's
description.
extraterrestrial?
Well, usually anytime an angel shows up in the Bible, the first thing is, do not be afraid. Of course, the one, what is it in Ezekiel or Daniel, is a ring inside of a ring. And then it describes more of a UFO than anything. And then, of course, you have the one that sits in the chair that spins and moves. And anyway.
You're saying that angels are extraterrestrials?
No, I'm saying that when it comes to differentiating from the past with lack of knowledge, there would be no way for them to differentiate an angel from an extraterrestrial if either existed.
Do you believe in the Bible?
100%. 3%. I give it 3%. I believe in the God of the Bible. I believe the prophecy that's in it, but I do not believe that the one that the world claims fulfilled the prophecy is the one who fulfilled the prophecy.
It was 97% in a moment.
Humans are fallible, and I'm not going to just stand here and say, I know everything, and it's for sure.
Wait.
I mean, that would be the most stupidest thing that...
Slow down, Y2K. Slow down.
Y2K, how do you know what 3% is trustworthy?
Okay, so that's the easy part. So there is only one message in the Bible. There is only one message. And it says this, that one day you will die and you will continue. That is the message.
That is the message.
That is the message of the Bible. There is a God, you will die, and then when you die, you will continue. Because matter cannot be created nor destroyed, it can only be changed. It's the one thing that science...
Where's that in the Bible?
It's not. But if you want to go back...
It's inconvenient.
Well, okay, so that's the whole thing. That's the one thing humans can't do. We have hydrogen and we have oxygen. We still can't create water.
What is happening?
I mean, we think on a different wavelength. That's what's happening.
Y2K. Slow down.
I'm kind of running out of time. I'm trying to squeeze it all together.
Okay, well then, let me ask you this question.
Yes.
Can you actually question your beliefs or from side rail to side rail in conspiracy land?
I have the ability to question my beliefs. I mean, that's the whole reason. So I grew up in a Christian home, and I definitely do not believe in the same manner in which I was taught. I do have the ability to question my beliefs and things of that nature. Time, on the other hand, is something I don't have.
I'm not sure which belief to even start questioning, because as soon as we start, we open up a whole new...
Well, if you're here often enough, we can do one belief a day, and then we can go from there and see how...
I don't know that I'm giving you a spot every day.
Well, I haven't been here for the last week, so I mean, I won't be here every day neither. But we can definitely...
Slow down, Y2K. I'm curious why do you believe that there is a God at all?
Because creation in general. So we have the
What is
ability
creation?
we have the ability to define the universe. We know
What is creation?
to bring something into existence from nothing.
What makes you think that's a possibility?
I don't have an answer for that. I don't know.
I like it, I don't know.
It's not very often I say that neither. That kind of hurt my feelings.
Why? Why does it hurt your feelings to say, I don't know?
Well, because as long as you stand in a specific field of knowledge, you're supposed to have the all-around knowledge. I mean, like, you're not supposed to be half-stepping in certain knowledge. I mean, you know, so with your career, it would be one thing, but with faith and belief, it's like it is shaky ground. It sucks.
Like it might not be as solid of a foundation as you thought.
Well, I mean, nothing is a solid foundation. That's why they call it belief. Otherwise, it would be fact.
Do you think it's, do you think sitting in that I don't know is something you can do?
For quite a while. I mean, I have to eventually make a decision. And after going from here to there, ping-ponging from side rail to side rail, picking up information on the way, I will again have to put a stance to my belief or to what I have faith in, give or take. So I have to rationalize it somehow.
So we hit the I don't know on which point exactly?
Not knowing how my belief of the God came into existence versus, or including the ability for creation.
I think it was about a creation, and you saying that it's something coming into existence from nothing.
Yes.
And I would ask why that must even have occurred. And that's where your I don't know comes in.
Yes. And now my time is up. I have to go pick up my wife from work.
All right, Y2K. Maybe another time. This is a good point to stop anyways.
Very awesome.
Appreciate
Always
you
enjoyed
coming
you.
up. Hope that you keep asking questions. And I hope that our next ride is, you know, as interesting, hopefully not quite as wild, but keep questioning. That was a hell of a way to start the show. We went through aliens and Jesus and Moses staring at God's crystal ball backside, and questions about creation. If anybody watching does have a belief in a God or God's higher power or anything like that, and you're capable of questioning that belief, go ahead and request out. I'm not here to debate you or argue. I just want to know, if you can question your beliefs, then what is it that you believe? And why do you believe it? And if you don't, or we've gone through the questions before, and you're not quite ready to question more, then make sure you're tapping that screen. We're 22,000 likes. I appreciate all of the taps. And already over 100 shares. The more we do that, the more we get out to the FYP and possibly get a few people in here curious enough or courageous enough to question their beliefs. Old Mick says I'm too scared. I'm not scared of you, Old Mick. I am pacing. I wonder if you've been pacing yourself. Usually when we talk, you're a few drinks deep. You're welcome, Fibonacci. I'm glad I could add culture and class to your life, as well as obviously a healthy addition to your diet.
Can you question your beliefs? Do you have a belief in a God, a higher power, or anything like that?
Hello, Chad. Can I get your age for TikTok TOS?
Oh, 28.
And do you have a belief in a God or God's higher power or anything like that?
Yes and no, I guess.
Yes and no. What do you mean by that?
I think I want to believe, but I don't really know if that makes it justifiable per se.
You want to believe in what?
First of all, like heaven to me, it sounds like all good and dandy, but it's almost like too good to be true, I guess.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Oh, like heaven, it sounds all fine and dandy, but it almost seems like it could be like too good to be true, I guess.
So you want for there to be a heaven, but you think
I feel
too good to be true.
Yeah, I feel like most people would want to be there, like some kind of happy afterlife.
Do you believe in the Bible?
Not really. I mean, I think it has like stories that can make you understand things, but I don't think it's like the gospel.
I'm sorry, I have a distraction going on. I missed what you just said. Did you say no, you don't believe in the Bible?
No, not really.
Okay. Why would you... Have you read the Bible?
Some of it. I have not read it all the way.
Have you read the parts about the heaven?
Most picked and chose.
So, do you even know how the heaven is described in the Bible?
Actually, no, I don't think so. Just humans' words of mouth.
So you just want to believe in a good afterlife according to the way people have described it to you?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds good, but I don't think it's true.
Does it matter to you if it's true or not?
I mean, at the end of the day, not really, I guess.
So you don't really believe it doesn't really matter. And I guess my question is, why did you request up?
Oh, I don't know, sorry.
You don't know why you requested up?
I was just asking for, I don't know.
I'm not trying to run you off. I'm just asking why you requested.
Oh, no, I was just listening to you. Thought maybe I got to learn something.
So you were hoping that I would teach you something?
No, not necessarily.
Okay. Chad, I'm going to go ahead and set you down because it sounds like you're distracted and not even sure why you're here. So we'll wait for someone who's actually sure about questioning their beliefs. And I need to step away for just a moment, but I will return shortly. We have exactly what we need. Well, yeah, we'll get to that.